How's it going, everyone? My name is Primacon. About a week ago, I made this video saying, Silk Song fans, you need to play this game. In that video, I talked about an upcoming Metroidvania called Ender Magnolia, which is like a sequel to Ender Lilies, which is one of the best Metroidvanias ever made. When Ender Lilies, the first game, came out, a lot of Hollow Knight YouTubers played it, and people were like, oh, this is the game to play while you wait for Silk Song. No one at that time would have imagined that not only will we get Ender Lilies 1 while waiting for Silk Song, we'll also get the full-ass sequel while we wait for Silk Song. So I wanted to put some moolah where my mouth is. I spent that video glazing the crap out of that game before it even came out, and now that I've spent a considerable amount of time playing it, I'm here to yap about it and tell you my thoughts. And boy, let me tell you, I was absolutely spot on.
Where's my brother? I ate him.
No! No, 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 no! Bro, I don't have heals! Please! Fuck, dude! Yes! Broke his guard! I'm cooked. I thought it was like a merchant or something! God damn it. Also, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe. Help me achieve the dream of 100,000 subscribers. That's the goal for 2025. Primacon, 100k, Silk Song. Make sense to you? Makes sense to me. Hit that subscribe button. Your grandma will be proud. I actually didn't get to play the game for like a whole 4 or 5 days after I made that video, after the game came out, I mean. Because I just got busy with other things and things got in the way. But then I played it for the first time on stream. Which, by the way, I will say it right now. This video will have absolutely no spoilers for Ender Magnolia. This is the type of game you wanna experience for yourself for the first time without any spoilers, so I'm not gonna be spoiling anything. Don't worry about it. But I did play the game on stream for the first time, so if you're interested in that, you can check the VOD out. It's on my channel. I played it for about an hour, then I ended the stream, but right as I ended the stream, I just kept on playing for an additional 4 hours, even though I was so exhausted. I just could not keep the controller down. The game is phenomenal. It's better than I thought it was gonna be, and I want to actually compare it a little bit to Nine Souls. So a lot of you know, Nine Souls came out last year, and it took like a lot of Hollow Knight community by storm. People were like, yeah, this is amazing. Fireborn even made a claim that Nine Souls might be better than Hollow Knight, which is just crazy praise for that game. And I played Nine Souls and it was amazing, but it failed to capture that one thing that made Hollow Knight so special for me. The reason Hollow Knight is my favorite game and one of the best Metroidvanias of all time isn't the combat, which is what Nine Souls specializes in. It's actually exploration. I've said this in every single video I've made where I've talked about why I like Hollow Knight so much. The main number one point I've always said is the feeling you get playing that game for the very first time, because Hollow Knight is such a uniquely made game, and Game Maker's Toolkit made a fascinating video about it called Boss Keys, which you should totally watch as well, where he talked about how there's so many ways to get to the same area, like get to the City of Tears, for example, that everyone's first playthrough of Hollow Knight is going to be different and unique. It completely depends on what area you want to go through first, and Team Cherry elaborated on that further in interviews, saying that they really wanted to give the players a sense of adventure, where no matter where you go, no matter what nook and cranny you explore, you'll find something useful, and at the end of the day, you'll carve your own path through this entire sprawling kingdom. Nine Souls failed to capture that for me, because Nine Souls specialized in combat, like Sekiro type parry-based combat. So if that's something you really admire about Hollow Knight, like you just find yourself only craving the pantheons, the combat, you would love Nine Souls. Not so much for me, but Ender Magnolia actually hits hard, like right on the head of that nail of exploration and carving your own path through the game. Right off the bat, as soon as you get past the first tutorial area, there are so many places you can go to. You always feel like there's like 10 million corridors that you can explore, and when you go a little bit further in the game, like a couple of hours in, and you find like this one key, it actually opens another completely different area, which is on the other side of the map than the one that you're exploring right now, and then you open like another area which is similar to, you could say, the Royal Waterways. There's at one time about 3 different areas you can go and explore, and I found myself just going back and forth between them. The map of Ender Magnolia works very well with that in mind. It's the kind of map you see in Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 Remake, where it'll show you if you have collected everything in a room or not, so you don't have to worry about missing out on stuff if you're like a completionist and you want to get every single thing in a room. It lets you place markers, it shows you a lot of detail. It's one of the best mapping system in a Metroidvania that I've seen, and that's also something I've praised a lot about Hollow Knight is the map. It's something I don't want them to change in Silksong at all because the map in Hollow Knight is so perfect. Granted, it doesn't show you if you have collected all the items in an area or not, but I think that kind of design works very well with Hollow Knight. Like how I just compared Ender Magnolia to Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake, where the map shows you if you've collected every item or not. Hollow Knight is more like Resident Evil 7 if you've played that game, where the map doesn't show you about the items. I think that kind of style works very well for Hollow Knight, but I think this kind of style works very well for Ender Magnolia. But like I said, there's so much exploration. Every place you go, you find something nice. The art and the scenery is beautiful. I swear to God, some areas I went to and I was like, holy shit, and I just like spammed the screenshot button because I wanted some wallpaper material out of that game. Art direction is phenomenal. It's why Elden Ring is so good, because of its art direction. Right now my wallpaper is the underground city in Elden Ring because it's actually so beautiful. The Shifra River, is that what's it called? Shifra River, that one. But let's also talk about boss fights in Ender Magnolia. Boss fights are actually so fun. It started out pretty much on the easy side and it had me a little bit worried, where I was like, oh my god, I'm just gonna be able to blaze through this game at like breakneck speed and it's gonna be over soon. But then as soon as I progressed a little bit further into the game, the boss fights became like super challenging. I actually had to think about how you deal with a boss fight, and you can switch your play styles. The game actually gives you so much customization in how you wanna play, way more than Hollow Knight. Like, I'm talking way more than Hollow Knight. You can map different kind of weapons to different kind of buttons, switch out different kind of abilities. It's so fun. You beat a boss, you find a banger ability, and you can choose to include it in your playstyle or not. The game gives you a lot of options on how you want to approach combat, exploration, storytelling, and more. The game has a lot of secrets, hidden paths. This one hidden path I found, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you break it, you go through it, and you think it's going to be like a small room or whatever, but it turns out to be like this massive giant area. It's actually mind-blowing, and every area has a distinct personality to it. No area feels the same, which is also one of my big complaints with a lot of Metroidvania games that come out, that the areas don't feel distinct enough like in Hollow Knight, but in Ender Magnolia they absolutely do. Lastly, I want to talk about the story and the lore a little bit. That's one of the weaker aspects I found personally in Ender Magnolia, but that's actually just me. I think that's very much a me problem, because that was my biggest issue with Nine Souls as well. I just don't like games where story is so dialogue heavy and you have to like kill the pacing of the game to read like a bunch of dialogue and then move on. That's what Nine Souls did. That's what Ender Magnolia does as well. I just very much prefer the storytelling of video games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Hollow Knight, where it's there, it's in the background, but it doesn't ruin the pace. But even if it's not in the background, it's not too much like Metroid Dread. I feel like Metroid Dread is one of the games that handles lore in a Metroidvania games very well. The balance is so nice. I just find that kind of balance lacking in Ender Magnolia. I found myself just blazing through the story just like I did with Nine Souls. I don't think it's the fault of the game or anything. That's just personal taste. Something that I find annoying. You might love that. You might because the game actually has weird cryptic cutscenes that play as well. So if you're super into lore, I think this game has a lot of that to offer. Personally, not for me, but it's there. And lastly, I want to say the game is huge. It's a massive map, a massive world, so much to do, and it's one of those games that if you're a completionist and you like to get like a platinum trophy in every game, you will really enjoy that. You will enjoy collecting all the abilities, all the upgrades, all the lore. It's just all around fun. I don't really believe in arbitrary number ratings, because what do they even mean? But if I had to give it like a rating, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. February's upon us. We don't know if you're gonna get Silksong news this month or not, but either way, if you're really craving a good Metroidvania, Ender Magnolia is an easy recommendation from me. And I hope this video gave you a good idea of why that is as well, with the comparisons to Hollow Knight and Nine Souls and what worked for me in Hollow Knight, which translated very well for me in Ender Magnolia. Anyway, thank you for listening to me yap about it. I usually don't do a lot of review videos. I think this might be my only one that I've done so far, but if you enjoyed this kind of content and you want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you soon with a new video. Primacon signing out.